Hey guys, what is up? My name is Ian, welcome to Brokenomics. Today we're going to be continuing with our greatest Launchpad series as I take you through Polkastarter. First of all, what is Polkastarter? It is an IDO launchpad that has a lottery-based allocation system. Now, we decided to do this one because in our Telegram we put it up to a vote, as you can see here, and Polkastarter was the most selected one. And speaking of telegrams, if you scroll through Polkastarter's one, you'll find that one of the most asked questions is, what are my chances of an allocation? What chance do I have with my 250 polls, 1000 polls, etc.? And it's something that really is given wishy-washy answers. They don't appear to want people to actually know what their chances are of an allocation. Now, for us doing this video series, if we're going to calculate profitability on a lottery-based system, then you need to know what the chances are of winning that lottery in order to, calculate your expectation. If the expectation is 50% chance of winning the lottery and it's a $500 allocation, then on average you would get a $250 allocation and so on. So first of all, let's go through what we do have with Polkastarter. Well, with the polls token, which is currently trading at about $2.70, you can see here the various costings that it would be to get into each level of the multiplier. And the multiplier you can see here with 250 polls being one ticket, so 500 would be two tickets, 753, and so on. But when you get to 1,000 tickets, that's multiplied your odds of getting an allocation by 1.1. At 3,000 it's 1.15. At 10,000 it's 1.2, and above 30,000 it's 1.25 for all you whales out there watching Brokenomics. That is one of the two kind of key pieces of information that we do get from Polkastarter. The other one is that based on their simulations, of which they've done tens of thousands, and again they say here they have crunched the numbers, so we don't have to. Well, we're not allowed to because we can't see them. If there's an average amount of whitelist spots of 1,000 given out, which as you can see from the recent Polkastarter IDOs, that's been pretty close to the actual number. You'll get 100 winners from the 250 polls tier, 1,000 or 130 from the 1,000, 600 from the 3,000, 80 from the 10,000, and 80 from the 30,000. So once we have this information, how do we go about calculating the actual odds? Well, first of all, thank God for blockchain. All of the data is there. Polls is a Binance Smart Chain and ERC20 token. So if you go to Etherscan and BSC Scan and download the CSV file, you can go through every one of the 48 odd thousand addresses that hold polls tokens. And that's pretty much what I did for this video. So again, if you appreciate that effort, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more great Launchpad information. Once this is done, there are two things that are more tricky to take care of. One is the fact that there is a cooldown period. If you win an allocation on Polkastarter, you cannot get whitelisted for another week unless you're in, I believe, the highest tier. So basically in the lowest tier where there's lots and lots of whitelist spots, that doesn't make such a big difference. But say in the 3,000 polls tier where you have your 600 winners and not that many participants relatively, that does increase your chances significantly. This is offset by the fact that they also have allocations for what they call liquidity providers or liquidity tokens. So now we get on to the numbers, and I'll take you through the method I use to calculate that I call the multiplier method. So basically what I did here was I went through the on-chain data, discovered there were just under 49,000 total polls holders. Of those, 29,000 held below the 250 polls minimum to actually get a whitelist spot, so they're excluded. So we're kind of down to 20,000 holders already. And of those, as you can see here in these three columns, 9,000 or just over 9,000 held one ticket, so between 250 and 499 polls. 2,400 had two tickets, 500 to below 750, and just over 1,000 held three tickets, 750 to 999 polls. So we obviously can't just add these wallets up because the first 9,000 have one ticket. In the middle here with the 2,400, you're going to have two tickets, so we'd have to multiply that 2,400 by 2. And then in the three ticket tier between 750 and 1,000, at the lowest level of the multiplier, we have 1,000 people with 3 tickets. So if you multiply the 1,000 by 3, the 2,400 by 2, and add the 9,000, you get the total number of tickets in tier 1, which is what you're competing against, not wallets if you're in that lowest tier. And that brings us to a number across Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum of just over 17,000 tickets. Now, we come back to what Polkastarter said about the data, there being on average with 1,000 participants or 1,000 whitelist spots, 100 of them will come from this 1x multiplier, and that means if everybody applied of the 17,000, you would have a 100 over 17,000 chance. But obviously everyone is not going to apply. At best I figured it might be 80% for a really hyped sale, and maybe at the low end 40%. Maybe it could be even lower than that, but you can see the odds here ranging from about 0.75% to just under 1.5%. So then all I had to do after this really was multiply it out and say, okay, if you have 250 polls and you have a 0.75% chance of getting an allocation, well then at 1,000 polls you have 4 times that chance, which is I don't know what it is, but you have 4 times that chance multiplied by 1.1, because that's the multiplier at that level. Then at 3,000 polls you would multiply the chances of 250 polls is 1 ticket, 3,000 polls is 12 times that, so 12 tickets, and multiply that by the 1.15, and we get 10% chance at 80%, and a 20% chance at 40% participation. So in this tier particularly, if there has been a sale in the last week, because 600 of the whitelist spots actually go to people in that 3,000 plus tier, and you can see here that only only just over 3,000 are in that tier, so it could exclude as many as 20% of those people and increase your odds significantly. So that's how I did that table, and as you can see at the highest tier you get close to 100%. But in terms of expectation, I mean, at a cost of nearly $700 to hold your 250 polls and to only have potentially a 1 or 1.5% chance of actually getting an allocation, it doesn't really seem like a very attractive value proposition. And again, I would say to Polkastarter, if you can prove the numbers are better than this, then please go ahead and do it, because all I'm using is the information you gave me in the on-chain data, and these are the numbers I'm coming to. There was also another method I used to go through this, which I'll take you through now as well. So this method I called the Polkastarter simulation method. So essentially, I took not the exact number, so let's say the 1,000 to 2,099 polls, 2,999 polls, is not someone with 1,000 polls. That's not their odds. It's the average person in that tier. So, some people will have 1,000, but most people will have somewhere in between 1,000 and 3,000 in that area. So the numbers here will be slightly higher because they'll have more tickets for, an extra ticket for every 250 polls that they hold. And I just did this again based off Polkastarter simulations and using that against the on-chain data. What I did get here were slightly higher numbers, or considerably higher numbers, for instance in the 10,000 to 29,999 tier. But again, compared to someone who holds exactly 10,000 like in the previous table, the average participant here has more tickets. But again, at the lowest tiers, I mean, we're looking at somewhere from a 1% chance to a 2% chance per ticket. So if you have 3 tickets, you have 3 times that chance. And at the 1,000 to 2,999, you're looking at somewhere between a 5 and a 10% chance. So somewhere between a $25 and $50 expectation for staking what 1,000 polls is $2,700. So compared to some other networks that we're going to look at, I have a feeling that these numbers are quite low in terms of expectation. If you guys have experience of using Polkastarter over a larger data set, please share that information and let me know what you think your odds are. Even work it out, how many whitelists did you try, how many did you get into. And yeah, if you want to see more of this Launchpad series, please subscribe to the channel, because we've got plenty more coming. Zach's got BSC pad coming out on Friday, and we're going to try, I think, and uncover some hidden gems, because there's 1 or 2 that we're involved in that certainly appear to allow for a much lower stake with a much higher chance of an allocation than this one. So thank you very much for your time, guys. Hope you appreciated the research and the data, and good luck.